Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Inshallah, today is our last week before the blessed month of Ramadan starts. And as promised that, we have started a section of the Quran, the only section of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this blessed month, the Ramadan. And we said this is the section of the Surah Al-Baqarah, only few ayahs, ayah number 183 to 187, only this, four or five ayahs, Allah talked about so beautifully about the month of Ramadan, what is it about, what we should do, what was the ruling before that. And we have done a part one of that. We have done 3 ayah out of the 5 ayah. We have done 3 ayah, number 183, 184 and 195. So today, inshallah ta'ala, we'll only talk about the last 2 ayah about this section. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll go from there. And then we're going to stop during the month of Ramadan. And inshallah ta'ala, after the Ramadan, if Allah wish, then we'll start our normal journey through Quran. And we'll start with Surah Al-Ma'idah, as we finished Surah Al-Nisa before. Okay, let's start the introduction. As I mentioned that, where in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the Quran in the Ramadan, it is in the Surah Al-Baqarah, this ayat, and we also have some background why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this one in the middle of the Surah Al-Baqarah, because this is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the story of the Bani Israel before. Then Allah talk about the father of all the nation, Ibrahim alayhi salam, how he built the Kaaba, what was his dua and everything. And after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give a title to a nation, this new Muslim nation. Allah changed their Qibla and Allah give them the new rulings of even to fast, how to fast and which month to fast, which is different from the other people, the other nations before. So a quick recap. We talked about the fasting before Ramadan. What was the ruling? And we said, most scholars say, it is that, Jewish people, they used to fast the middle 3 months of the day. And that is the fasting was with the Muslim. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to fast the middle 3 days. And it is still a sunnah. Some people, the scholars say, because he used to do that, like 13, 14, and 15 of the month. So we talk about that little bit. We said that, purpose of fasting is different and purpose of Ramadan is different. Fasting is to attain the taqwa. Ramadan is to connect yourself with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Quran. We also say the month of the Quran is the Ramadan. We also say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in this that there are 3 qualities of the Quran. Allah says, Hudal linnas, this is a guidance for all the people. And then Allah says, Al bayyinati min al huda. It's a bayyina, meaning a clear proof among the qualities of the Quran. And the third one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that it is a furqan, it is the distinguisher between the right and the wrong. We also talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that when you witness the month, as if we are a witnesser of how you witness the month, we talk about that as if we are not living in the month, but the month is something we are observing. As we observe the ayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then we fast the month. Whoever witnessed the month, fast the month. And then Allah said, I want ease through you guys. So once you have this rigorous training of the taqwa, that for the 1 month you don't eat, you don't drink, you control your desires during the day, you attain the taqwa, and because you are trained now, you are ready to help the other people to enlighten the surrounding around you. And then Allah said at the end that at the day of the Eid, at the day of the celebrating this training, after 1 month of training, we glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu walillahil hamd, and we be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, today is this 2 ayah only. So first I'll talk about this ayah. This is a beautiful ayah of the Quran, and I request all the brother, it is a very small ayah. Try to memorize this ayah. This ayah, if you memorize it, if you understand the meaning, it will give you hope in time of distress. It will give you solution in your problems. This ayah is one of the best ayahs. You can say all the ayahs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great. Of course, every ayah has wisdom, every ayah has guidance. But some ayah that touches your heart, that gives you, a encouragement to go close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is one of the ayah. And this ayah Allah put here in the section of Ramadan. Why? Because now we had the training. We had the Ramadan. Allah told us how to get the training. And Allah told us why this month is important. Now Allah is telling us this is your time to ask dua from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this order is very common in the Quran. Allah talks for some time, then Allah asks us what to ask from Allah. Just like in Fatiha, we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin. All these qualities are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is Ar-Rahman, He is Ar-Rahim, He is the Malik of the last day. Then Allah says, well, now you know about Allah, then ask, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Oh Allah, we worship only you and we ask help from you. That is and same thing in a lot of places. Even the famous last ayah of the Surah Al-Baqarah, the most of us memorize it, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa usaha. Allah saying something about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is saying, look, Allah doesn't give you a burden that a soul cannot bear. Then Allah said, this is that whatever one does in this world, he will get the same reward for him. Then Allah said, ask. Rabbana la tu'akhizna in nasina. So Allah said something about Himself, His quality, the situation. Then Allah said, ask from me like this way. So this is the same fashion that Allah talk about Ramadan and Allah asking this. So Allah starts with wa iza sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni kareem ujibu da'wata da'i iza da'an falyastajibu li wa la tu'minu bi la'allahum yarshadun. So I'll go piece by piece. I'll talk about, there's a lot of words here. I'll talk about very quickly 9 words here. And you can see the meaning under there. This meaning is very simple. Allah is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when my servants, my ibad, my slaves, when they ask about me, I am near. That's the first part. Then Allah is saying, I respond to their invocation, meaning dua or supplication, whenever they calls upon me. So let them respond to me. Let them respond to me is not the right translation. Basically, Allah is saying they should also respond to me and then believe in me, and this is where they will be guided. So this is the general meaning. Now we start with the first thing, iza. What iza? I give an example to understand why Allah was iza. Iza means when. Suppose a mother has a child, he's in the army, okay, his son is in the army. He went somewhere, he's been transferred to somewhere. And her son likes cake or something, okay? So now she's telling you, okay, when my son comes back, I will bake a cake for him. Or would she say that if my sons come back, I will bake a cake for him? What she's gonna say? When or if? No, she'll say when. If means you have doubt. When means you have no doubt. Whenever you say when, that means you are definite that he will come. She doesn't want to say if. Because if is a time you're saying it may happen, it may not happen. But Allah is saying when they ask about me. Allah knows that definitely, Allah has hope for all of us, that definitely they're going to ask about me. Then Allah say ibadi. Ibadi basically means, the abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you know, this has been the slaves or servants. But this is the one of the highest praise of the human being. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give this title to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Alhamdulillahi Allazi, in the Surah Al-Kahf, Alhamdulillahi Allazi anzalna, abdihi. Meaning Allah is saying, I am giving my abda, the Quran. In Surah Al-Isra, Allah said, I have taken my slave from the Makkah to the Masjid Al-Haram to Masjid Al-Aqsa. All this thing, Allah giving the title Ibad to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Here Allah giving the title not to him, to his servants, to all of us. And when you say something, Allah could have said here, when the believer ask about me, when the people ask about me, like this. But Allah said, when my slave. Whenever you add the my word with something, you already establish a relationship and attachment. If I say this is my laptop, this is my car, you already know, okay, I have ownership with this one. There's some attachment with this one. I know there's some relation with this one. So that's why Allah said ibadi. And then, because the Arabic, and the English doesn't go the order way, so I put when and then ibadi. Then the next word is sa'alaka. Sa'alaka means ask you. Allah is asking the Islam when they ask about you. And one of the meaning of this, why Allah bring Rasulullah sallallahu inside in this ayah? Because people used to go to him and ask about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is saying, if you consult Rasulullah sallallahu about him, he is already happy and he is kareeb to you. He is near to you. Meaning, who taught us to go close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It is Rasulullah sallallahu. And one thing is to remember, through the Quran, through the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we go close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we recite Quran, and if you understand the Quran, you draw your attention to the Quran. Obviously, what we do in the prayer, when the Imam is reciting beautifully, okay, you try to put your attention, you're going close to the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so through Quran, we go close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And through dua, Allah comes close to us. And who taught us all the dua? Going to the toilet, coming out of the toilet, going to the sleep, waking up from the sleep, driving your car, getting out of the car, coming to the masjid. All this dua in life is from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Of course, there are dua. Allah taught us also dua, but basically Allah is saying that is a sa'alaka. And Allah said, when they ask you about me, I am near. That's not the right actually form of language. If you see, if I say, if I talk to Brother Imran, I say, Brother Imran, when Brother Raju asks about me, tell him I am in the masjid. That's the normal way. When Brother Raju asks about me, tell him I am in the masjid. Tell him. So you have to do the job. But here Allah didn't say, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ إِبَادِي أَنِّي فَقُلْ لَهُمْ. فَقُلْ لَهُمْ means tell them, inni karib. Allah took Rasulullah out from the equation. He's saying, as soon as you ask about me through Rasulullah or through his dua, I am already near. You don't need anybody else. You don't need to tell this person that tell him I am near. I am already near with you. Because this is why Allah responds. And that's why Allah said in the next word, Allah says, Ujibu. Ujibu means to respond to the dua. And Ujibu, you will have a similar word next time also about us. So Ujibu is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, I will respond to them. And Ujibu is the meaning is that Allah respond right away. Any dua you do with sincerity, Allah will respond right away. Some people say, brother, there is a hadith, you said the hadith in 40 hadith, that, Rasulullah said, if a person is in haram, if eating haram, clothing in haram, everything is haram, how can, Allah dua will be accepted? Yeah, that's right. But even for those kind of people, Allah will respond in a different way. Maybe Allah will give him the realization, but not accepting your dua is not getting accepted, change your lifestyle. That is a guidance from Allah. Somehow, Allah will respond as Allah mentioned here. And then Allah says, Ujibu da'wata da'i. Da'wata means dua. Simply in English or in Arabic is a dua. But see this small ta marbuta, the dot, 2 dots. There's one ta, the basic Arabic, like the big ta, and this is a small ta marbuta. This ta marbuta is in Arabic language called jamu qilla, meaning a very, very little amount, as if it's a singular thing. So Allah is saying, whenever they make a dua, even a single type of dua, I will respond to them right away. And then Allah saying that, after that, if Allah does this one, so obviously He accepts something from us. And then He said, Fal yastajibu. So the difference between ujibu and fal yastajibu. Ujibu, I said, it means to respond something immediately. And yastajibu means respond with progress, slowly, step by step response, not right away. See how merciful is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's saying, when we make dua, Allah will respond to us. But in return, we have to make progress in our life, slowly but surely, that we are going towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're making the dua. And then at the end, Allah saying, وَلِتُؤْمِنُوا, meaning and believe in me. And then He said, لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشِدُونَ. Yarshidun means, yarshudun, it means to be guided. Rashada means, you are lost somewhere. You want to go from here to Parramatta, but you took a wrong way. You take M7 and this and that, and then finally you came to the right path and went to this. That is called Rashad basically. So Allah is basically saying, if you do this one, if you ask Rasulullah about me, I am close to you, and make dua, make some effort for me that I can guide you. And this is the guidance. So this is a conversation between Allah and us. For a conversation you need 2 parties. In the first conversation, Allah said, look, I am the book. Because we know Allah through Quran. The Quran is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no doubt about it. And we know everything that Allah is saying. When you recite Quran, Allah is talking to us. So Allah is saying, yes, this is my speech. I have given this in the month of Ramadan, and this is the best time. You make dua to me, I will respond, as long as you have sincerity, as long as you are doing some steps in following this one. So inshallah ta'ala, we do this ayah here. The next ayah is a bit different type of ayah. It's a long ayah, but I will make it very, very short because we get bored very quickly. But this is a beautiful ayah again, and this ayah has some adult theme in nature. But this is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how Allah put the language, and we should know it. There's nothing to shy about it, or nothing there's no language to. But it's not the rulings. Everybody know the rulings. in the rulings of the Ramadan. But what language Allah use? You can read a novel, English novel, like Romeo and Juliet. You can also read a newspaper. You can also read a notice board in a street or in a station or whatever. Those are all same language, but they are three different things. The Romeo and Juliet has a romantic, even it's a novel or something. Newspaper has some straightforward, official professional language. Notice board has some kind of warning or something. All these things, same language, but how they put the language, and that will bring the context. This ayah is about the nights of Ramadan, not the Qiyamul Layl. The nights where you meet, your wife, how you should do that. What we should do in this one, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and how Allah put this beautiful romantic picture between husband and wife. And look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could put this part anywhere in the Quran. There is a whole surah called Surah An-Nisa, as you all finished it, right? It's called the Surah of Omen. Allah could have put it there. There is a surah called Surah Al-Talaq. There is a surah about, the tahrim between the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah could have put it there. No, Allah put it just here in the Ramadan time. And then we will see what the language Allah used. We can't discuss just the way we discussed because it's a long surah. So there are 9 sentences in this ayah. There are 9 sentences, okay? So out of the 9 sentences, 3 or 4 sentences I will talk about it, and the others is very easy to understand. We're not going to go in deep into that. These are the 9 sentences, okay? And I have given some title of this sentence. I'll come back to. So only out of the 1, 2, 4, and 8, I'll talk about a little bit more. Other than that, those are just translation. I'm not going to go in detail all those ones. So the first thing Allah said in this ayah, Allah said, it has been made permissible for you the night preceding fasting, meaning the night of the fasting, not the night before that we start Tarawih, like every night, to go to your wife for rafasa. Okay, in English translation it says for sexual intercourse with your wife. That is the meaning of it. But the word rafas mean basically not only the act itself, anything before that. In English, in simple language, we call the foreplay. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and this word rafasa, every word has a pair of preposition. Whenever you see this word in the Quran, Allah used with ma, mim with a dhamma, but here Allah used with a ila. And Allah is saying that the night of the Siyam, you should go towards your wife with this intention in your mind. Meaning you finish your prayer, Nesha, and you had a romantic night waiting for you. These words only used in the Arabic language to go to not only the actual act, but the things around it, the way you create the environment. So all of this captured in this ayah. And Allah is mentioning this one here because Allah wants that this is the month. And we'll talk about why Allah put these ayahs here. What is the wisdom behind it? So Allah said, get ready for that. And the night, the word 9 in Arabic called Layl. Everybody knows the Layl. And here it's a Laylata. Laylata means, again with the ta marbuta, it means as if every night, not one night. Allah didn't say Layalin. Layalin means some of the nights, or maybe one. But Allah said Laylata means as if this is the night and it is the last night. So you treat every night as it is. The next ayah, Allah said, Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahum. Libas mean, everybody I think knows, libas mean dress. And this ayah that I just said, they are clothing for you and you are clothing for them. If you talk about this ayah, the tafsir, the mufassir say, clothing, what does clothing does? It protects you. So, you are the protector of your wife, you're a protector, wife keeps your secrets, she looks after your house, you also protect her from the outside and everything. That is one meaning. But with the context of this ayah, the line before, what Allah said, another meaning of libas, which is very similar to the clothing, is that wrapped up. Allah is saying as if one is wrapped up with the other one. That's why I told you this ayahs, the meaning is literally adult in nature, because Allah wants to paint a picture between the husband and the wife, and He's saying that they are clothing for you, so they are like wrapped up with each other. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah knows that you have already cheated yourself. In that, this is a contextual ayah, meaning some of the Sahaba, they thought in the night of the Ramadan